Hi, my name is Martina and I'm a physical therapist and Pilates instructor. And through this experience, I've invented the Pilates MiniMAX, the portable Pilates studio. My hope with the Pilates MiniMAX is to bring the benefits of Pilates to more people, bring the exercises that are typically done in a Pilates studio into your home. Pilates is a series of mind-body exercises that seeks to increase posture, control, flexibility, and strength through precise exercise. So to get the most out of your Pilates MiniMAX workout, it's important to understand a couple of basic Pilates concepts: breathing, posture, and spine position. Breathing is really important in Pilates because it maximizes the exercises and increases control. However, keep in mind that the exercise is still the most important thing. So if you start to get off with the breathing pattern, don't stop exercising, continue on, but try to correct your breathing pattern as you go along. Other reasons why breathing in Pilates is so important is that deep breathing increases the oxygen level in your bloodstream. And it also activates your deep core. Have you ever noticed that when you laugh really hard, you feel like you've had a really good stomach workout? Well, you weren't doing crunches when you were laughing, but you were forcefully exhaling. And so in Pilates, we use that focused breathing in order to activate our deep core, and specifically the transversus abdominis. Wow, that's a mouthful. So from now on, when I talk about that deep core muscle, the transversus abdominis, I'm going to call it the TA. So the TA is your deepest stomach muscle. It starts from your back and goes around your midsection, just like your own personal back brace. And so when the TA contracts, the stomach flattens and the waistline gently pulls in. So the style of breathing with Pilates is to inhale through the nose, taking the air deep into your lungs, expanding the rib cage. And on the exhale, through tight lips, blowing that air out as you gently pull that waistline in. So let's try that. Inhale through your nose, taking the air deep into your ribs, expanding. And then exhale. All right, so keep in mind you really want that air to go into your rib cage, not to breathe into your neck and shoulders. So to make sure you're expanding at your rib cage, put your hands right on your ribs. And when you inhale, breathe into your hands. Feel your ribs expand. Here we go. Inhale. And now exhale. Super. All right, so the other thing you want to keep in mind is that on the exhale, not to deflate. So you can check in with that by putting one hand at the top of your stomach, the other hand at the bottom of your stomach, and when you exhale, you don't want those hands to come closer together. You want to stay tall. So inhale through your nose, expand your ribs. Exhale, cinch in your waist and stay tall. Great. So less is more with this abdominal contraction. We're not trying to create rigidity. Make sure it's a gentle contraction of your abdominals, more like a connection of your core to your breath. So the second concept is posture. Posture is so important all the time, but especially when you're doing Pilates. An area where people have issues is rounding of the shoulders. So to correct that, you want to lift your chest, try to lengthen through your collarbones, grow long. Wonderful. If you're sitting or standing, you could also think about having a headlight right on your breastbone, and you want that headlight to beam directly out in front of you, not down towards the ground. So when you get stressed, or if you're working out really hard, sometimes we have a tendency to get into our neck and our shoulders. So periodically throughout the exercises, check in with your neck and shoulders. Make sure you're not holding tension there and that those shoulders aren't creeping up towards your ears, but keeping them nice and relaxed. And then in Pilates, we work a lot for spinal elongation. And that's just a fancy way of saying trying to be long through your spine. So if you're laying down, you want to feel like you're reaching your head away from your toes and your toes away from your head. So you're just working that spine and that entire body very long. If you're sitting or standing, you want to feel like you're trying to reach through your spine and out through the top of your head, trying to grow taller. It's almost like you're trying to lift your whole body up and out of your hip sockets. And that's the reason why people say you grow taller with Pilates. You don't really grow taller, but you choose to use your length. The final concept is spinal position. So in Pilates, when you're stabilizing your low back, either we're stabilizing in neutral spine or in the imprinted spine position. Imprinted spine position is sometimes called flat back or posterior pelvic tilt. All three names mean the same. I'll tend to use imprint. So talking about neutral spine, if you're sitting or standing, you want to make sure that your pelvis is vertical and there's a small natural arch in your low back. I'm going to turn sideways to you. And right now you can see that my pelvis is tilted forward and there's an exaggerated arch in my low back. So to correct this alignment, I need to gently pull up with my lowest stomach muscles and slightly down with my buttocks. You can see how my pelvis is more naturally up and down and that I have a natural curve to my low back. Then in this position you want to make sure your ribs are over your pelvis. Sometimes people have a tendency to push their ribs forward or push their ribs back. So make sure that you have that rib cage centered over your pelvis. So it's just a little bit different when you're lying down. So I'm just going to push the Pilates MiniMax down and I'm going to go ahead and lay down here, placing my legs up on top. So when I'm working on neutral spine, when I'm lying down, I don't want to have the pelvis tilted up or down. I want to find that parallel position to the floor. There's going to be a naturally small arch in my spine, so you could put your fingers back there and feel, oh yeah, you got a little bit of wiggle room there. So when you're stabilizing in neutral spine, you want to maintain this pelvis position and the small arch in your back as perhaps your leg moves away from center and returns, keeping yourself nice and stable. The second spinal position that we use for stability is the imprinted position. So with that, the navel draws in, the pelvis tilts back, and the back flattens. So now if you put your fingers back at the small of your back, you shouldn't have as much wiggle room. And then if you're stabilizing in the imprinted position, you want to maintain that position as, once again, like the leg challenges away from center, but you maintain the spinal position. It's a little bit different again when you come up to sitting. So if I'm sitting, once again, I'm in that nice neutral, my pelvis is vertical, my ribs are stacked over my hips. As I start to go into that imprinted position, my pelvis is going to have rolled back, my navel is drawn in, and now I'm a little bit more on the back of my buttocks. All right, well, I hope that explains a little bit more about Pilates, and it should help maximize your workouts. Please feel free to contact us at the website www.pilatesminimax.com if you have any questions, concerns, or ideas for other workouts. We're here for you. We're trying to create a community of health for everyone at every stage of their life. Please spread the word about the Pilates MiniMax and have a great day.